Okay, welcome to Luvnest taking on his first challenger, Captain Price.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Defeated King Gaddafi rather easily in a short and sweet 30-minute series. Now he's going to be taking on Captain Price's U.S. forces as Oster on the left side of Kolodny Ferma. Price is going to immediately open the game with barbed wire on his cutoff, as he always does. Just one of those habits he has.
Waiting for orders. Target secure.
Two riflemen making their way across the south. Luvnest also going to start wiring off cover positions here in the center, and Grenadiers are making their way probably straight to the munitions point to maintain vision over this area and control over that house. Pretty standard opening, I would say, from both players. Two Grenadiers, two riflemen. And there probably won't be any engagements for a few minutes.
Steady up, fellas. I got orders coming.
Barbed wire position here is complete. Air echelons continue moving to cap the south, and one squad of Price's riflemen will actually head north rather than south to cap. So we may find engagement opportunities up here. Luvnest will wire off this approach. That can be an easy, it's a really good barbed wire position right there.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Helps defend this area a lot.
Someone get us out of here.
Pios take control of the building. Grenadiers finish up taking control of the fuel. Second squad Grenadiers moving up from this approach to assist in the engagement and maybe try and start putting pressure on those riflemen to retreat. Pulling back to safety a little bit. Rear echelon troops grabbing the south strategic point.
All right, you dopes, listen up.
Riflemen will finish taking control of territory in this area. Luvnest is going to jump into this building with Grenadiers, while also controlling this building with Pios and Grenadiers. Building control of these two structures is a very important component of an Oster defense here in the early game, trying to maintain a little bit of resources. If you can get control of this munitions, then you're in an okay position, having this munitions, this fuel, and then either the center or north VP. Grenadiers are about to be engaged here from the south. They do have 4 south-facing windows. Riflemen have green cover and medium range, so it's looks like it's going to go to the Grenadiers because Price is struggling to get all 5 of the models to stand properly in cover. And he will disengage, I think. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay, now he's going to retreat. That was weird. I think he wanted to jump into green cover right there, not realizing it had been wired off. Took a bunch of damage right there. Bit of a micro mistake, I guess. He is going to transition now from 3 rifle opening into rear echelon spam, I think. Trying to use the 3 riflemen for strong early engagement victories against Grenadiers. And then transition to rear echelon troops with LMGs later in the game. When Red Wings rear echelon spams, he gets 6 and equips each of the 3 squads with 2 squads with BARs, 2 with bazookas, and 2 with LMGs. Price is probably just going to get LMGs. I think Red Wings starting with BARs and then transitioning to LMGs gives him a slightly stronger early game compared to Price's variant of rear echelon troop spam, but Price will just be trying to make up for that with riflemen, basically.
Steady up, fellas. I got orders coming. God damn it! Someone get us out of here! Hammer that goddamn line!
Riflemen will get some Grenadiers to retreat. The second squad of Grenadiers will also probably be forced away. Sticking around for a little while to get the VP captured. Price might have an opportunity to wire off this retreat path if he wanted to, for some reason.
Area secured. In contact.
And meanwhile, in the north, 2 rear echelons against 1 Pios squad. I think rear echelons should win this. They get an early snipe. Pretty easy win. Grenadiers moving up to support will probably be able to win the engagement against both of these rear echelon troop squads. This one is already very low. They make it to the cover position first. They're bringing down these rear echelon troops very quickly. So it looks like the engagement will go to them. One Grenadier model drops before Price is forced to retreat here. But there he goes. Second squad of Grenadiers from Luvnest making its way towards the south cutoff. Riflemen are on their way to counter. And there's the retreat.
Contact! Kraut infantry! Listen up!
This rear echelon troop squad might be able to beat a two-man squad of Grenadiers. I think Price has bled this squad sufficiently to finally win the engagement up here. He's now up to 5 squads of rear echelon troops to go with his 3 riflemen. He has not purchased any officers yet.
We're losing a capture point.
I got orders, boys. We're taking fire!
Ambulance on the field for Price now after a 6 rear echelon 3 rifleman build. He's going to start getting himself healing. Healing.
Production upgrade accomplished.
They're in contact with the enemy!
Flamethrower on its way through the middle to start putting pressure on riflemen to get out of this church. Grenadiers pushing away rear echelon troops right there and jumping between buildings and points. Get them under their control.
Heads up! Mechanized mortar carrier is now ready for action. Rifle squad now equipped to lay mines, sandbags, and build fighting positions.
Rifle squad leaves the church, takes up position in green cover here. Flamethrower will leave the church. Seeing that, continue to engage for building control here in the north. One squad of Grenadiers forced to retreat. As far as Luvnest tech, he has gotten himself healing here in the base. And has gone battle phase 1, but no tier 2 structure yet. Probably going to be purchasing that after he's forced to retreat with this flamethrower squad, unless he purchases himself another one. Luvnest has lightning war, mobile defense, and close air support, so
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
I'm not sure what I'm expecting. Okay, close air support apparently from Luvnest to try and shut down the rear echelon blobs.
Our lines.
Close air support is pretty much always a good choice, so no big surprise right there. Luvnest must feel that he needs that. He needs that to win this game. He's getting pushed back into his base too hard. He's losing control of the high resource points in the north, and he can't afford to use a weaker commander. So clearly Captain Price's early rear echelon troop pressure is strong enough to prompt Luvnest into a full meta commander selection.
Taking our territory. We have new resources. The sector has been cut off.
That squad will retreat. We have 2 MG42s on the field for Luvnest right here, and he's getting himself a mortar as well. He's going to go very hard into tier 1 to counter his opponent's extremely hard investment into tier 1. Rather than transitioning up to any tier 2 units. Doesn't have anything. Panzer Grenadiers might maybe be good against vanilla rear echelon troop spam, but once they have LMGs, they might fall off a little bit. On this map, though, I think he'd probably generally be able to get them into medium range. Maybe. Riflemen coming up from the south to engage against these Grenadiers in the road. Winning the engagement against them quite quickly. Rear echelon troops get pinned as they attempt to grab the center VP. They have no choice but to retreat. I can't tell who's winning this. Apparently Luvnest will retreat, although I'm not sure he had lost that engagement. They were Vet 2 against Vanilla Riflemen. Both had 2 models left. It's probably going to come down to whoever got sniped first. Tellermine going down here for Luvnest. I don't think he's redistributed yet. He is actually winning a few engagements here in the north. He may not feel like he needs to do that yet. Instead, spend the fuel on trying to make it to Panzer IV, perhaps. See what he chooses to do. Riflemen finish capturing the point and they'll retreat back into the base. Price now has a huge blob of LMGs.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Our supply line's cut. Germans are making a push.
Move! Watch your distance! Shift your fire! Field promotion!
And there goes that squad.
Squad, get ready! Under fire!
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green.
The enemy has engaged us!
Grab your shit and follow me.
Riflemen charge, Grenadiers in green cover to try and win that engagement. Luvnest sees the second squad coming. He might have won the engagement against them, but he retreats to get safety, and the LMG blob starts working on units up here in the north. I don't think there's a minesweeper anywhere in this blob, unfortunately, so we will not spot that teller mine. It's a bit of a blind spot for Captain Price. He's always a little slow to get his first minesweeper, even with a rear echelon spam strategy, which is kind of funny. Just charging straight into a machine gun with LMGs. Looks like it's gonna work. And the machine gun is forced to retreat by LMG spam.
Losing a sector. The enemy is taking our territory.
Captain is not yet Vet 1, but LMGs have arrived to the engagement and will force Luvnest to retreat anyway. The blob is too scary, he doesn't think he can take it on. And almost all of Luvnest's troops will be forced back into the base. Rifle grenade into the building does a little bit of damage, but the rifles are still pretty much fine. Captain gets unsuppressed and continues working on the center point. Rifle grenade? Ooh. No reaction from Price. Didn't notice that happening. Nice pickup by Luvnest. Another rifle grenade into the rear echelon troop blob, but they will move to avoid it.
Capture point.
And mortar fire on the building will force those riflemen to retreat.
Stick with me and you might just make it.
Squad, get ready! Area secure! Area
A
secure!
capture point is under attack.
Mortar's got very good potential of punishing this behavior. Even one really good hit. And Price isn't going to risk it, he just pulls out of the engagement entirely, not wanting to continue engaging against LMG Grenadiers. This squad also forced to retreat by the Pios, and it looks like Luvnest will restore the connection to his resources here in the north with an AT gun, sending that to back cap and moving up MGs to layer themselves and get ready for Price's next push. Everything here was forced to retreat, but Luvnest is now at 6 CPs, which gives him access to the anti-infantry strafe. So Price's window of opportunity where this strategy worked extremely well is pretty much closed, but Shermans are on the field now.
Grab your shit and follow me.
Ready. Go ahead. The Germans just cut off our supply line.
Back to full strength.
And that's going to be a whole new threat for Luvnest to have to try and deal with. Sherman pushes away 2 squads from the south and will probably be able to get total control of the area. If Price spreads himself out a little bit more, he can probably get some territory in the north uncontested while he's pulling a lot of Luvnest forces down to the bottom of the map. AT gun is on its way to try and counter. Doesn't currently have vision though. Sherman revealed itself, but now the AT gun just doesn't quite have a line. Grenadiers will be forced to retreat to avoid getting wiped. LMG is moving up to engage against the Grenadiers right here. They fire their rifle grenades. Oh, that one looked nasty. A lot of bodies right there. Sherman, however, is working the flank, trying to soften up some team weapons and maybe pick some squads up on retreat. Working on this layer of machine guns will force that one to retreat. This one sticking around a little bit longer is definitely going to have to get out of there. On me, popped by the captain. Getting laser beamed down hard by the LMGs, and there it goes. We'll retreat. Sherman is still at about half health, is fine, and the AT gun has to pull back to the safety of the base. Currently unprotected by anything. But throughout the course of that engagement, Price did no harassment of the north, so Luvnest still holds all of that territory. Light harassment here of the south by wounded riflemen will get that territory under control. The Sherman needs repairs, so that's pulling back to the base, and everything else Price has is going to receive healing by the ambulance. So
This lousy patch of dirt is ours. Knock it off and listen up.
All done over here. A capture point is being overrun.
riflemen retreating back to the base, and these infantry will take control of the south cutoff. Sherman receiving repairs here as well will be sent back into engagements. Luvnest now has a second AT gun, so the Sherman will have much more limited movements, and thus far hasn't really done that much. Hasn't wiped anything. As far as I'm aware, Luvnest still has a very healthy infantry army. Hard tier 1 and tier 2 close air support build. And he seems to be shutting Price down pretty hard. In fact, he hasn't even used an anti-infantry strafe yet, I don't think, right? And he's still taming this blob.
Crowd's got us ranged.
Almost has a triple cap going. Except for light harassment here in the north, which an LMG Grenadier squad will move to shut down. Sherman takes 2 AT gunshots and pulls back for repairs again. Price is going to send a few squads back to the base for healing. Use the rest of his blob for repairs. Rifle grenade on the rear echelon troop squad. They do react. Take damage though. They'll be able to escape, but no more harassment there in the north.
Losing a capture point. Well, send your order. Shit. M7B1 self-propelled howitzer on station and ready for action. What the hell? Where's that coming from?
Sherman working on the center church, and AT guns are on their way to counter. Lots of teller mines down here from Luvnest as well to protect the flanks. Sherman is going to pull back to safety. Anti-tank strafe from Luvnest is off target. He incorrectly predicted that Sherman's retreat path, and it does get away. LMG Gren's working on the cutoff right here, while the LMG blob forces away a machine gun in the south. And there's the anti-infantry strafe. I don't know if anything's going to arrive to punish this, though. I'm probably just going to get unsuppressed. So all that really accomplished is helping that machine gun get away with minimal bleed, which I guess might have been worth it. Price has split his forces into 2 groups, moving up from 2 different flanks up here. MG42 is set up in the road. The other MG42 just retreated, so this particular avenue might be dangerous. Ooh. Almost a really nasty mortar right there. I'm pretty sure those grenadiers are in no real danger of getting wiped because LMG rear echelon troops, I guess, aren't really that great at wiping things on retreat because they can't fire on the move, so they can't chase. They're cheap,